Hello and welcome to the Talent Forward How to Connect with Student Talent session. I'm Matt McInnes, Director of Member Relations at the BC Chamber of Commerce, and I'm excited that you're taking the first step in considering how to bring student talent on board at your organization. Hopefully this webinar will help bring some clarity on how you can engage with student talent here in BC and what the benefits of working with students are. Joining us today are Jenny Nelson, the President of the Association for Cooperative Education and Work Integrated Learning in BC, and Kristen Vandergrind, the Project Manager for the Talent Forward program. We have four main objectives, and by the end of the session, you should have an understanding of what the Talent Forward program is and how it can help your business, how your business can benefit from working with student talent, what the different ways you can work with students in your business are, and how you can recruit and hire the best and brightest talent for your business. If you can't answer these questions by the end of the session, I suggest you just watch it again until you can. Just kidding. If you want to learn more about any of these questions or others you might have related to working with students in BC, you can visit us on bcchamber.org, acewillbc.ca, or you can reach out directly to Kristen, Jenny, or myself. Now I'm going to pass it off to Kristen to help us answer the first question: what is the Talent Forward program?
Great, thank you so much, Matt. So the Talent Forward program, our goal with this program is really to connect BC businesses with student talent. We want to raise awareness of student talent as a way for businesses to move forward. And we recognize it's been a tough time for businesses, but this is a great time for businesses to be able to bring students on board to help them recover and to grow. And we really want to make it easy for your business to connect with student talent. So this program is a partnership between the BC Chamber of Commerce and ACEWILL. And if you're not familiar with ACEWILL, ACEWILL is a professional association that represents the 25 post-secondary institutions in BC, and that's public post-secondary institutions who have a student talent that is actually looking for work as a part of their curriculum. Our program is funded by the Ministry of Advanced Education, Training and Skills. And we have a couple of ways that we support businesses. So one is that we provide one-to-one advising. So we'll talk a little bit more about what that looks like in the presentation. There's many different types of student talent programs across BC. So our aim is to help you find the right type of student talent for your business needs. We also have some webinars and some handouts that are available on our website on the BC Chamber site that can help businesses understand ways that they can utilize maybe funding sources and also understand the best ways to recruit student talent or to onboard student talent into their organization. I'm now going to pass it back to Matt, and Matt's going to talk a little bit more about how the BC talk a little bit more about the concerns that BC businesses face when trying to source talent and how student talent can help. Over to you, Matt.
Thanks, Kristen. The BC Chamber of Commerce represents over 120 chambers of commerce and over 36,000 businesses across BC, making us the biggest and broadest business network in the province. To help us understand and better support businesses in BC, we built an online business insight platform called bcmindreader.com. BC Mindreader allows us to engage with these businesses across the province on a variety of different topics so we can know what's on the mind of BC. One of the ways we do this is through our annual Collective Perspective survey, which helps give a snapshot of the year. And in our 2019 Collective Perspective survey, cost of labor and availability of workers was a top concern for BC businesses, as it was in years prior. While we know that the landscape for businesses has shifted drastically since the completion of this survey due to COVID-19, our insight throughout this pandemic has let us know that finding affordable, skilled labor continues to be one of the biggest challenges for BC businesses. And we see skilled post-secondary students as one of the most underutilized pools of labor. Working with students can help businesses solve short-term labor needs, save on costs, increase capacity, and help drive productivity, all while helping create a more skilled workforce in BC, building a talent pipeline for your business, and connecting students to local communities to reduce the brain drain caused by young talent leaving to work in other parts of the world. In October 2020, we ran our Hiring for the Future survey through BC Mindreader to find out why businesses worked with student talent. Through this, we learned that businesses not only work with students to address short-term labor needs, but also to help with strategic objectives. When businesses were asked, if you were to engage a post-secondary student in the future, what strategic objectives would they assist you with in a post-COVID economic recovery context? The top answers were deploying new technology to boost innovation and competitiveness, developing new and innovative products, services, or experiences, increasing productivity by lowering costs, and identifying new niche markets. These are a few great pathways students can work with businesses in creative, innovative ways through helping integrate new technologies, share new perspectives, and provide general tactical support. Now I'll pass it back to Kristen to address the challenges expressed by BC businesses when connecting with student talent.
Great, thanks so much, Matt. So in talking to BC businesses and through the Hiring for the Future survey, we've identified some of the key challenges that businesses face when trying to connect with student talent. So the first one is that businesses may not be aware of all the different opportunities there are to work with students. So we're very lucky in BC to have a wide variety of student talent programs available, and we're looking forward to sharing a little bit more about that with you a little bit later. The second challenge that businesses find is that sometimes they just don't know how to connect with students. So they may be interested in hiring a student, but they're just not sure what that next step is for them to start the recruitment process. Another challenge might be timing and availability. So sometimes the students are available, but maybe it's not when the business actually needs the students to come on board. Funding was a huge issue that businesses highlighted to us. So they're looking for funding to be able to compensate a student and also cover those initial training costs as well. And finally, businesses were concerned that maybe they just wouldn't have enough work to be able to provide to the students. So we're going to walk through some of these different challenges, and we want to share with you a little bit more about how student talent can support your business. One of the first challenges that we highlighted was that there was an unawareness of opportunities to work with students. So all businesses in BC can access skilled post-secondary students and have multiple options on how they can use student talent in their workplaces. And in the Hiring for the Future survey that Matt talked about before, there's definitely some types of student talent programs that people were aware of, and that would be apprenticeship, co-op, and internships. But there's actually many ways that businesses can use student talent. And I'm going to pass it off to Jenny, and Jenny's going to talk to us a little bit about the many varied types of student talent programs we have available. So over to you, Jenny.
Great, thank you, Kristen. So you can see here on the screen that there are a number of ways that businesses can work with students. So I'm just going to give a bit of an overview of each one. Apprenticeships look like training a worker to become a skilled tradesperson through a combination of on-the-job training and classroom training. There's also community service learning, where students provide support to a community-based organization through service, research, or other needs. There's cooperative education, which many BC businesses are familiar with, and that's students doing paid work terms that are usually 3 to 4 months of full-time work related to their studies, and they alternate their academic and work terms throughout their education. Entrepreneurship students are able to focus on a business startup or solve other real-world problems as part of their academic credit. There's also field learning. Field learning is part-time or short-term intensive hands-on practical experience in a setting relevant to the subject or area of study. There are internships, which are very similar to cooperative education. They are usually paid work, but they differ in that they may be more flexible in duration or the required hours, and they can be completed during or after a student's education. There's also practicum placements. That's work experience under the supervision of an experienced, registered, or licensed professional in a discipline that requires practice-based work experience for professional licensure or other certification. And finally, we have research projects. That's where students are engaged in research that occurs primarily in workplaces and includes such things as consulting projects, design projects, or community-based research projects. Great. And then within the academic setting, student talent programs are most often referred to as work integrated learning or experiential education or experiential learning. So when you hear those forms of learning, it's all work integrated learning. The intention really is for students to apply hands-on learning from their academics to the workplace, but also be able to take what they've learned in the workplace back into their classroom. The hallmark of work integrated learning student talent programs is that it really is a partnership between the organizations, the post-secondary schools, and the students. And with that, I'm going to pass it back over to Kristen.
Great, thanks so much, Jenny. So hopefully that gives you a better sense of the different types of student talent programs that are available. Now, one of the other challenges that we had mentioned was that sometimes you're on board, you're excited about the idea of hiring student talent and bringing that student on board in your organization, but you're just not really quite sure what that next step is. How do you actually take that practical step of bringing the students on board? So again, we have so many different programs that we have available in BC. So the first step is to really reach out to the post-secondaries that you want to work with to learn about the different types of programs they have available. So for each of the types of student talent programs, there's different availability and different requirements. So once you can understand that, that's really going to inform your recruitment process. And people to connect with at post-secondaries would be people who maybe work in a work integrated learning department, might be a co-op department. You could also look for someone at the institution who maybe is associated with experiential learning, and career centers as well can often help you with that process. For larger programs like co-op or apprenticeship, you'll often be able to find that information on the institution's website. But for some of the smaller types of student talent programs, sometimes those can be a little bit more tricky to find and they can take a little bit of research. So many schools do have multiple types of student talent programs available. But because institutions are large and sometimes the communication is decentralized, it does make it a little bit harder to find. So you might need to talk to several different people at the institution to find the right student talent for your business. I did want to highlight as well, as part of the Talent Forward program, we do offer advising, and that advising is designed to really help businesses very quickly and efficiently find those talent programs that work for them. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. I also wanted to highlight that Ace Wills, so our partner in this project, they have several helpful resources that can help you in finding student talent programs. So the first is that they have an option for you to search co-op and WIL programs on their website. So that will give you a bit of an understanding of some of the bigger student talent programs. And as well, they have a really helpful portal, post an opportunity portal that allows you to actually post your opportunities across multiple institutions at the same time. So a lot of businesses do find that really quite helpful. In terms of another challenge is that sometimes timing and availability of students doesn't align with business needs. So a good example of this might be that students often enjoy working in the summertime, but maybe your particular business isn't that busy during the summer. So in terms of the timing challenge, it is true that most student talent programs are offered at very specific times within the year or within the semester. So getting to know the types of student talent programs available at post-secondary institutions is helpful, just so you're able to really plan ahead so that you're able to recruit students when you need them. But that being said, sometimes some student talent programs do have some flexibility in timing. So again, if you have very specific needs, it's maybe about finding the right student talent program for your business. In terms of availability, so you might be looking for students and they may not have the same availability that you need for your business needs. The first thing I would say is again, it's going to be to communicate with that post-secondary that you're interested in working with. They might have some ideas on what you can do to recruit student talent. So for example, maybe you're interested in hiring a co-op student, but just the timing isn't working. but maybe it would make more sense for you to post that opportunity as an internship through the Careers Center. So there can be some really interesting solutions that we might be able to find that would meet your needs. We would encourage you to look at all kinds of different types of student talent programs. And the other thing you can do is really seek to be an employer of choice. So if you really want to recruit the best and the brightest in terms of student talent, there's lots of ways that you can really raise your profile on campus. So this might be getting to know your post-secondary staff at your post-secondary institution. It might be being a speaker. It might be participating in a job fair, but there definitely are ways that you can raise the profile of your business so that when you post an opportunity, students are going to be really excited to work with you. As well, when you do post an opportunity, you want to just keep in mind that students are going through these student talent programs because they want to learn. So the more that you're able to create a job posting that really highlights what students are going to be able to learn from your opportunity, the more interest you'll have and then larger student talent pool you'll be able to choose from. Another challenge was funding. And so I think a lot of businesses can really resonate with this particular challenge. And we recognize it can be an investment to bring a student on board into an organization. And many of student talent programs, they are often paid opportunities and employment falls under Employment Standards Act. That being said, there are funding options available. And so we just want to really highlight those to you. And we actually have put together a resource on the BC Chamber site under our Talent Forward program that tells you about all of the different funding resources that we have available here in BC. One of the things that we would encourage you to think of when looking at funding is before you hire a student or bring a student on board, really do understand what type of funding you're looking to get. Sometimes there can be some parameters that are associated with funding opportunities. So for example, students may need to be a Canadian citizen or permanent resident in order for you to qualify for the funding. And here in BC, we have many international students who are interested in finding work experience. So they might not actually be eligible, or your business may not be eligible under funding to bring an international student on board. So if you do have questions about funding, you're interested in bringing a student on board and you're just not really quite sure where to start, again, you're very welcome to reach out to the advisor at the BC Chamber of Commerce to find out more about what some of your options might be. And then lastly, one of the challenges is, businesses might believe that they don't have enough work to give a student. And so again, you can look at a variety of different student talent programs. The duration will vary. So maybe you don't have enough work to bring on a co-op student for 4 months, but maybe you could bring on a student to do a short-term project, for example. So that would be the first step, is to just look at your options in terms of timing and duration. The other thing is to think about what are those back burner projects. So having run a business myself, I know that there's no end to different things that I would love to do with my business. And I just sometimes don't have that capacity. Bringing a student on board can really help with getting through a lot of those back burner projects that you want to be able to grow your business. Another thing that students are often very good at, it might be something like technology integration. So especially with COVID, we had a number of students who have gone into workplaces and really helped with transitioning services to virtual, as an example. Or students might be able to help set up an e-commerce site, or maybe do some social media marketing or those types of projects. Again, if you're not sure if you have enough work, we're very happy to talk to you and help you think about different ways that you could, different types of projects that you could work with if you were to bring a student on board into your organization. So I mentioned the advising service that we provide several times. We really do want to make it very easy for you to find student talent for your organization. And so that's why we put together an advising service to support you with that. So how that works is that you basically just get in touch with us. So it's myself and my colleague Lucas, and you let us know what your business needs are. So what is it that you're looking to bring a student on board to help you with? We will then go out and do the research in terms of identifying what type of student talent program might work for your business needs. So we'll do all the kind of hard work to find out what those programs are at the various post-secondary institutions. We'll then bring that back to you and let you see what your options are for bringing a student on board. And then you'll decide, which are the student talent programs that I want to connect with. Once you've decided on the programs that you want to connect with, we'll help you connect to those post-secondary institutions. We want to make that direct connection so you don't have to email multiple people. You can just talk to the person that you need to talk to and be able to move forward very quickly to recruit the student talent that you need. You will then work directly with the post-secondary institution to recruit students. So as advisors, we will step back. We want you to really build that relationship with your post-secondary institution. But we are always available. So if you do have additional questions, that's what we're there for, and we're happy to support with that. Accessing the Talent Forward program, it's free for businesses in BC. So we highly encourage you to take advantage of that. So finally, as we wrap up our webinar today, just wanted to highlight a few resources that may be helpful to you. So we mentioned our website, so bcchamber.org/talent-forward. And on this website, you're going to find some different resources. I mentioned the funding options handout, so you can find that there. We also have some information on recruiting student talent and onboarding student talent. And we give information on how you can connect with our advising service there as well. ACE Will as well has some great resources. One of the things we mentioned before was the post and opportunity portals. So again, if you want to get your job posting out very quickly, maybe get it out to multiple institutions, this is really a great resource for you to take advantage of. And then finally, I'm really happy to connect with you if you have any questions, concerns about hiring student talent. Again, we want to make that process efficient and easy for you. So please don't hesitate to reach out. So hopefully this webinar has given you just a little bit more insight on how to connect with student talent. And we wish you all the best in your process of working with student talent in the future.